I'm going to take a coffee graphic, I'm going to trace it out, I'm going to machine it out with the CNC on black walnut. Here I'm using Logic Trace 2018 and I've selected tracing. Also, there's a few different selections for tracing. You pick what suits you best. I always like to use a good sized diagram when I'm tracing something out. The small parts become big parts. They're easier to trace. I use a red pencil to mark my spots where I've started and also what I've done. Also, there's an edit command if you make a mistake or you don't like what you've traced. Just select edit, toggle to the spot that you don't like, delete it, and retrace it. Simple. I'm going to do something a bit different with this coffee graphic. Instead of engraving it, I'm going to cut it with the CNC, but I'm going to cut it right through. This way, using black walnut and it's cut right through, the light's going to show through, so the graphic is going to really show up. And then I'm going to add some text at the top, coffee. I'm getting close here to finishing up with the tracing. I'm going to create a DXF file. I'm going to load that file into Vectric Aspire 11.0, check the vector quality, see if there's any node editing required, and create a toolpath for the CNC. Shown here, I've got the walnut plaque mounted to the slave table of the CNC. I'm using a 1/4 inch carbide end mill. I'm running about 70 inches per minute at about 19,000 RPM. The walnut's about 5/8 of an inch thick. Black walnut's a nice wood to work with. It's not extremely hard and it's not soft. It cuts very nicely. You can see there in the picture where I used a couple of small nails just to hold those internal parts in. Because as they're cut out, you don't want those parts flying around. Another worthwhile point here, if you'll notice, all my hold downs are wood. So if the bit hits a hold down, it's just going to hit a piece of wood. It's not going to do any damage to the carbide cutter. I'm not using a dust pickup because I want to show the cut. So we're pretty close here to finishing up, so I'll pull it off the table and let you have a look. Here I'm going to use Vectric Aspire 11.0 just to create that text, coffee, for the plaque. I'm just going to save it as a DXF file, and I'm going to load that file into the CO2 laser, and I'm going to engrave the top of the plaque. After I did the engraving, then I programmed a low power cut with the CO2 laser. Very low power. So what it does, it just outlines the letters. As you can see, it's a nice effect. I've nicknamed the low power cut a scribe because that's what I'm doing. I'm scribing the letters to make them stand out. Here I've given the plaque a clear coat. Actually, I gave it about 2 clear coats. Coffee plaque looks good.